Talk about the best deals right now in August 2023 that you can buy in out of any gaming laptop, period. And there are some insane deals right now, so we're going to go through them. We're going to talk about most of these, not quite all of them. But this is the 2023 gaming laptop list, and there's a link in the description down below to check this out. And every one of these listings, you can click to expand it, and you can look at pictures, you can look at links here, and there are some benchmarks and summaries of each of the laptops right here. All right, so MSI Bravo 15. This is a laptop that has a terrible display, or not terrible, but very poor display, I would say. It's like a 4 or 5 out of 10 in terms of rating. It's 144 hertz, which is good, much better than a 60 hertz display, but there is some ghosting. It's not very colorful. It's not very bright. But it's got an RTX 4050, latest gen, RTX 4050 for $749. This is the cheapest 4050 we've seen so far, and it's tremendous value, bang for the buck. If you just need to play games at 1080p, this will play almost every game at 1080p, most likely with ultra settings, and maybe disabling ray tracing in certain titles or turning down textures in certain titles. Only 6 gigs of VRAM on this, but I would say the Bravo 15 is primarily attractive if you're a very strict budget and you're like, I got to get something for less than 800 with tax, then this is a good option. And primarily, I'd recommend using an external display with the Bravo 15. Now, we got the Asus TUF A16. I did a review, detailed unboxing review of the Asus TUF A16, $799. It is on sale big time right now, $300 off of its normal price. And this thing is faster than an RTX 4050 in raw GPU performance, typically. Now, my review of this had the CPU temps going kind of crazy, but that's mainly because we set the CPU power sliders all the way to max. We did do some more testing with the Asus TUF A16 when we turned the CPU power sliders down and changed the performance profiles and stuff. We had some pretty dang good performance. That said, RTX 4000 series has frame generation. Frame generation is a game changer for single player games that does, I think, give you a lot more performance for your money. But at $799, this thing definitely gives the RTX 4050 laptops a run for the money, in particular because the display on this is much better quality than most of the $700, $800 laptops out there. This has 100% sRGB coverage, very colorful, over 300 nits brightness, full HD 165 hertz. So if you're an esports gamer on a budget at $799, this is probably the best esports gaming laptop that you can get at $799. It's an 8-core, 16-thread part, and it's an AMD GPU. Like I said, links in the description to this if you want to check it out. This is the Lenovo LOQ 16 with an RTX 4050, $835. It may, if you're on a tighter budget, this is probably a worthy upgrade from that MSI Bravo 15. Up to you, but yeah, the display quality on this is going to be quite a bit brighter. Not really more colorful. It's the same color gamut as the Bravo 15, but it's going to be a brighter display. Only 8 gigs of RAM on here is the main downside. You'll want to upgrade that. Obviously, it's a Ryzen 5 as well. Acer Nitro 5, I did a review of this one. This one has really good thermals, really good performance, and the display is better than the Bravo 15, but not as good as the LOQ. $849 for an RTX 4050. 16 gigs of RAM here is a big bonus. And very minimal ghosting. I thought this was a pretty good deal. I wouldn't say this is an amazing deal, but it is, I think, worthy of being in the top deals in August 2023. Lenovo Ideapad Gaming 3. Oh, we're on the wrong. We got to go through this. I thought I was going to be doing it in the right order. Okay. Oh, it is. Okay. Good, good, good. We are still good. Okay, so Lenovo, I don't know. This one needs to be removed from the top deals. I wouldn't recommend this one currently. Asus TUF F15, bonker deal today. RTX 4060 version, $899. RTX 4070 version, $1,000. $1,000 for an RTX 4070 with a great display, 1 terabyte SSD, but the downsides here, you're getting a 12th gen CPU, but it's a good 12th gen, i7 12700H, so it's not one of the cut down i5s, and you get 16 gigs of RAM, but it's only DDR4 3200. But typically speaking, that's still very good RAM, and you'll still get very good gaming performance out of it. Overall, at $999, this is the best deal in gaming laptops that I have seen so far in 2023. Look at this, $12.21 for our GPU performance per dollar. That is the highest we have ever seen so far in 2023. So if you're after an excellent deal, the Asus TUF F15 is a definitely better deal than the LOQ 16. You get a more colorful display, RTX 4070. All of that said, the Asus TUF F15, this thing's not going to be a $999 for very long. It's definitely going to sell out extremely quickly, and there's going to be a limited stock for sure on this. I really like this laptop. I did a full review of this laptop. It had good all-around thermals, good performance. It feels really nice in the hand. I really like that laptop a lot. Okay, so what other laptops are worth talking about for the best deals in 2023? Well, you have the LOQ 15 for $999. Very similar to the LOQ 16, but it's a 16:9 aspect ratio instead of 16:10 aspect ratio. Just a little bit smaller, very, very similar overall display quality and specs for the money. So if you want 16:9 instead of 16:10, I guess this is the laptop to go for instead of the LOQ 16. And then we also have the Acer Predator Helios Neo, which is $200 off. And if you're after a really bright display, this is the brightest display under $1,000 that we've seen so far. Currently, I believe it's over 400 nits brightness, full HD 165 hertz, but it's only an RTX 4050 here. So you're definitely paying a little bit. You're shifting some of your money from the GPU and CPU focused over to the display focus, though it's just not as colorful of a display. But still, if you're in a lot of bright environments, then this is going to certainly be more visible in an outdoor environment. And there was no ghosting on display. And the i5 CPU on that thing is an HX, which gives it pretty much as much cores as the i7 12700H, I believe. It's a lot. It's more cores than your typical i5. The only other deal that I think I really want to talk about is if you want to step up your display quality and you're a Lenovo fan, you got the Lenovo Legion Pro 5 with a QHD 165 hertz 300 nits display. $1,127 for that guy. You also have the Acer Nitro 5 with a QHD 165 hertz 300 nits display, but it's 100% of the P3 color gamut. So if you're after a more colorful display for video editing, Photoshop, all of that. And this also has a 3070 Ti, which is a more powerful GPU in raw GPU performance compared to the RTX 4050, 4060, and is very competitive with a 4070 in terms of raw GPU performance. And it's a lot of value, 1 terabyte SSD and 16 gigs of DDR5 for $999. This is actually, it was a little bit cheaper, but now it's $30 more. You also have the Acer Nitro 16 with a 4070 QHD 165 hertz 500 nits display. Again, if you're focusing primarily on display brightness, then this thing is very bright. I don't think it actually tested quite to 500 nits. I believe it tested a bit under, like 430 or something. I did an unboxing review of this. It's actually $100 cheaper right now than it was when I reviewed it for $1349. So super banger deal again for an RTX 4070, but it's not as good of a banger deal as this TUF F15 with a 4070. So the TUF F15, just absolutely crushing it in terms of best value deal right now in August 2023. Omen 17, also a very good deal for a 4080, an i7 13700HX, 16 gigs of DDR5, QHD 240 hertz 300 nits display for $1929. So if you're looking for a little bit more expensive laptop with great value, you've got the Omen 17 there. You also have the Legion Pro 7i for an i9. If you're looking for a more powerful processor, you get the i9 13900HX and an RTX 4080. And honestly, this display is really good, but it's not quite 100% P3 color gamut. So it's, in that sense, it's not as good. The Omen 17 is also not, but right now it is only a minor sale on the Legion Pro 7i, and I would wait for this to go on sale a little bit more, like say 2100, 2200, before you pull the trigger on this RTX 4080 version of the Pro 7i. But yeah, it's still just, it's very good deal in the 4080 category. Okay, so that's all of the deals.